6 years ago, Nikon came out with arguably the best 70-200 f2.8 on the market. 6 years later, we got version 2. Shorter, faster, lighter. But is that 5% difference gonna inspire you to pick up your camera again, or is this gonna make a difference in your photography? Let's talk about it. First impressions on this lens is, it's about 300 grams lighter than the original one. It's a little bit shorter as well, as we mentioned, but this is a really fast action lens. This doesn't feel like the 70-200. It actually feels more like a 24-70 in a lot of ways. The length of it's much shorter. And the one thing just walking around taking photos with this is just how fast it is, how the autofocus is lightning quick. It's very similar to the new 24-70 f2.8 Mark II, where they've improved the autofocusing motors inside of it. You're getting that same technology in this. And it's just very confidence inspiring. Now, it's not like the old 70-200 f2.8 isn't good. It's fantastic. I think for 95% of you out there, that lens will still be more than relevant, and you'll find the optics out of that amazing. But this is for those 5%ers out there. And it could be for performance. It could be because you're doing sports photography or wildlife photography, and you need that extra speed, or you want that more close focusing, or you want that faster, internal zoom from 70-200. That's gonna make a difference in your photography. Or it could just because you want the latest and greatest, you want the newest lens, and there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes picking up something new like this that's, obviously a bit better in a lot of ways, re-inspires your photography. And so I always say, buy what makes you happy, because you know what? That's what all this is really about. Or for those who are doing sports, and that 5% is gonna make a difference in you capturing that one moment or not, this lens can help you with that. Anyway, we're gonna walk around here. We're Gardens by the Bay, take some photos, daily stuff, just lifestyle photography. And let's see how it performs. And we'll also compare it to the 70-200, the original 2.8 S-line lens. By the way, in case you're wondering, I only had about 3 hours in total with this lens, so it's much more of a first impressions. With that said, some other things that are similar to the new 24-70 f2.8 S2 lens is going to be that control ring with clicks. That's very similar to having an aperture ring now, but that's something that's new to the 70-200 f2.8 version 2. And minimal focusing distance has now been improved to 0.38 meters to 0.8 meters versus 0.5 meters to 1 meter. And you're going to definitely notice that difference, especially taking photos as I have around Gardens by the Bay and the Flower Dome. One of the things I want to try was the teleconverter on this. Now you can put it 1.4 times or 2 times as well, and that's going to give you some really good range. So at the 2 times, you're basically about 140 to 400, about 5.6 straight across, and that's more than adequate for a lot of users out there. Nailed it. Focus, everything is great. APS-C crop on this because 45 megapixels on the Z8, can even get closer on that. And it's going to give you a lot of versatility, but the one thing I like is the ergonomics. Case in point, this tripod footing here is now Arca-Swiss, and it's a bit longer, so what's nice about here is if you rest your hand, and I can actually, go back and forth from 70-200 pretty much like that, which is really very quick. The zoom throw on this is very short considering, which makes it very easy and again, adds to the whole fast action and user experience of using something like this versus not. So yeah, anyway, let's walk around here. We'll probably go inside the Flower Dome here, take some photos, try some different scenarios and see how it performs. But so far, I'm liking this thing. And there's one thing I haven't showed you about the tripod footing, which I think is very cool. And I think because of the weight of this lens, you may not even need this. Let's get into that in just a bit. All right, so one of the new things about this lens, as I mentioned, we got the Arca-Swiss tripod footing here, but you can remove this ring, and actually we have a cover that goes over because this is so light. Basically without the tripod footing, you're under 1,000 grams. So if you notice here on this ring right here, where this housing, you're gonna see this button. So you have to press that, then you have to turn it, and you're gonna get all the way to the very end, and sometimes you get it, and pull it off. See, there's the lock right there, right? And then, for aesthetic purposes, line up the white line, lock it in place, and there you go. But the one thing the tripod footing does help you, as I mentioned, is that short sort of zoom throw on this. Because it is shorter than the original 70-200, just by a bit, not by much, but you definitely do notice it. But with your hand resting underneath the lens like that, it makes it very easy to turn back and forth. But this is a nice thing. Again, not the easiest thing to take off and on. You got to practice that a few times. Let's figure that out here. Go, push. There, lock. Whew. Then put. There we go. Man, these Japanese engineers at Nikon must be really strong. Dude, the forearms on these guys must be like, wah. But, I mean, not a deal breaker. So I'm pairing the original 70 to 200 2.8. And, okay, sharpness-wise, they're pretty much on par with one another. I mean, this is obviously a very sharp, high-performing lens. The difference you're going to notice is the bokeh, the fall off. Obviously, the new one has 11 rounded aperture blades versus this has 9 rounded aperture blades. So it's going to be much more of a smoother fall off and a more smoother bokeh, which is the thing you'll notice the difference, and the weight. I put this on here because I cannot remove this entire ring. I can remove the footing, which is an Arca-Swiss, by the way. You definitely feel the weight difference on this. Also, this display is gone now, which obviously you can tell by the B-roll that you've seen in this video, but you definitely notice a difference. And I think even those 300-400 grams they may make an impact on you depending on how you want to carry this lens. It could be all day, you're doing events, wedding photography, whatever have you. With the Z8 and Z9 or even a Z6 III, you may find this 300-400 grams weight savings be a big factor in why you want to pick up the second version of this lens versus the original. But I mean, optically, they're very much on par. And that's just a testament to Nikon and how good they make a lens that 6 years after the fact, it's still that good. So now we're going to do a quick video test here with this lens. And as you saw from the focus breathing, I mean, it's minimal at best. I mean, hardly anything. So this is going to be designed great for videographers and so forth. But yeah, I mean, the image quality of this is just outstanding. The performance, the weight. I don't know what to say. I mean, again, it's on paper, it's 5% difference, probably around there. But in real world usage, unless, I mean, if you're coming into the Nikon system brand new, and obviously it depends on budget because street price versus, MSRP, I would say just pick this up. But again, if you're only going to use a 70-200 2.8 once in a while, the original one that I have here is just going to be as good, and it will do the job for you. Image qualities out of this is fantastic. Sharpness, autofocus is still there. Even 6 years after Nikon released this lens, it is still very relevant. This one is just that much better in terms of weight, usability, and so forth like that. The bokeh, you're going to notice a little bit more creamier. But again, sometimes we buy what the heart wants us to buy, and that's what this lens is about. For the sports photographers, the wildlife photographers, you need that few percent difference to capture that image. This lens is for you. For the hobbyists, the people that love photography, if you want the best of the best, this is probably it. Anyway, guys, that's it. If you like this video, like, subscribe. Thank you for the support once again, and I'll chat to you all very, very soon. Bye.